of a gloomy day in Niagara Falls, but waking up here at the Blue Moon Motel, we're gonna have lots of fun today anyway. Not gonna let the clouds get in our way. It's Niagara Falls. Let's go. Legendary Zappi's Pizza and Pasta Italian Eatery. Check out this cool truck they got. Got Queen Elizabeth peering out of the passenger window. Good place to get Italian. Look at the size of this. It's a really cool truck. The giant tomato on the back. Old Studebaker. Look at that, smiling at you. Always been very fond of this cool smiling tomato on the back of this truck. It's a good way to bring in off the street. This gentleman driving the car. The truck, sorry, the Studebaker. No, maybe he's driving. He's driving the car. The truck. He's driving the truck. That's pretty cool. A nice daytime walk, showing some of the other cool things in Niagara. There's the parish office. Right beside this really neat looking church. You know me and churches. I've never really checked out the churches in Niagara. Look at this. Look at that stained glass. Pretty cool. Got 3 crosses in view here. That is some gorgeous stained glass right there. Nice little setup over here. Cool. Some gentlemen doing some construction on the church. To my left, this is the statue of St. Mary. If you didn't know. Oh, look at that. There's my bells. We got double bells up there. Hope the camera can get that. Back it up to the sidewalk a little. Look at that. We haven't even made it around to the sign. There's them bells. Look at this. The stained glass climbing its way all the way up to the top. Very cool. And it is the St. Anne Church, a Roman Catholic church. Very cool. Beautiful day here on the back roads of Niagara. Helicopter up there. Helicopter just went out of view. There it is. And now, which once was a storefront, obviously, probably a general store. The sign has been removed. I like the lats up there on both sides of the windows.
Looks like it used to be called Captain something.
Perhaps it's a bar and grill, right? It says Captain, but it doesn't say Captain. It says Captain, like Captain Crunch. C-A-P-N, Captain.
And yeah, those wood lattice window frames, like this used to be a bar for sure.
Yeah, it had to have been a
parking
bar or
thing,
something.
too.
Very cool. The sun is out. The Niagara sky. You can see the Skylon Tower and the casinos in the distance. It's Clifton Hill up there. We're in rural Niagara. Quaint place. I've always wanted to live here. I have an aunt that lives about 3 minutes away. All right, here we go. Gorgeous Niagara.
Sun.
We got the sun. A mix of sun and cloud on this Niagara trip. Covering it all. Love this shot of the skyline you get from this road. Fairfields Inn and Suites over there. Courtyard Marriott. Keg Steakhouse over there. Right, so just showing you some of the other cool stuff you'll find on Lundy's Lane off of the official Niagara Falls strips, like the pot spot. It's not a hot spot, but it's the pot spot. Discount souvenir stores. Club 7. I think they just closed down by the looks of it. It was a strip club. This was the strip club, Ryan. Never been there, but yeah, it looks like it closed. Over here, gonna jog across the street. This is Lundy's Lane. Lots of fascinating things on Lundy's Lane. Far from Clifton Hill. Well, not far, but off of Clifton Hill. The Cadillac Motel. You know what they have at the Cadillac Motel? Color TV. The Pojo. Oh yeah. Whoa, whoa. Pretty comfortable. Oh. It's actually a good show. Just making our way by Chuck's Roadhouse. Great bar and grill, established in 2015 here in Niagara. Check out these signs though. This is right on the corner of Ellen Avenue and Clark Avenue. What other Ellen and Clark do you know? It's Ellen and Clark Avenue. Ellen and Clark Griswold. From the National Lampoon's Vacation movies. Ellen Avenue, Clark Avenue. Ellen and Clark Griswold. It's gotta be them. This is Ferry Street that we've been on. Past a few clips. Clifton Hill down there. Ellen and Clark Griswold. Here, off of Ferry Street, there's the Wedding Fashion Museum and the Niagara Falls History Museum, the Gale Family War of 1812 Visitor Center. But what I'm fascinated by is this, Obtain Mercy, Queen Victoria Monument, which was erected in 1901 by the loyal citizens. God Save the King. It can be hard to make that out. God Save the King.
1901.
Yep, that's when they erected that. Erected, 1901. This building here is a National Historic Site here in Niagara. I'll take you up the stairs. We'll read the plaque, but check it out. This one, put up in 1874. Look at that gorgeous architecture on that. Which is a heritage landmark from 1874. Stamford Township Hall. So this was the town hall. Erected in 1874. The architect, John Latshaw. Lundy's Lane Historical Society. This is the town hall of Niagara. And the War Museum, which is next door to that. If you're wondering, right here, Ferry Street. War of 1812 Museum, we noticed some cannons and some muskets over there as well. Is that a bayonet or a musket? We're looking through the glass.
See a bayonet. Those are really old muskets.
That's inside the War of 1812 Museum. Check this out over here. If you look at that monument from the right side where we are, right in front of the town hall, I don't know if you can make out what it says here, but it says, "Blessed are the merciful." So, some interesting stuff down here. This tattoo shop, their logo on the sign actually is the tattoo needle. That's pretty genius, in a way. The tattoo needle on the sign. This is the official tattoo studio of Niagara. So if you're looking for a tattoo, I hear their pricing is pretty good. Dog Pound Tattoo Studio. Always open. As people generally tend to ink their skin when they've drinking a lot after a night, and sometimes this occurs between like 2 and 5 a.m. Wander down the strip, ink themselves up. Look at that. That's phenomenal. That is very cool. That's a good point then. That could be a croc. I looked at it thinking it was an alligator, but the more you look at it from a different angle, you notice that his snout is longer. It's all on how you look at it. That's the beautiful thing about art, right? Look at this. Look at this. That is cool. Wow. Hats off to the people that painted these. Look at this lion. That's very cool.
Semper Fi.
One of the final paintings in this
I would assume that's
art wall.
a phoenix rising from the flames, right?
Just like the phoenix will rise again. Rise of the Phoenix. You never heard of the band, the heavy metal band Destroyer 666. They have a wicked song called Rise of the Phoenix. They're pretty much as deadly as a band can get in the truest sense. There's also Rise of the Phoenix by Tenacious D, which is a great tune. And soon, the Exchange, thought this said E-Change, but it says Exchange. Here, we got the Lundy's Lane United Church Cemetery. There's a lot to this cemetery on both sides of the road, but on here, on this side of the road, it's just a little roadside cemetery. Look how old these graves are, Ryan. You can't even make out the inscriptions. Look at that. That's where the inscription is. You can barely make it out. Look at these stones. Gotta get an old school Niagara Falls cemetery tour in. You can't even make out years on here. 1868, that one. You know me, I like to find like the oldest year. Oh God, look at those bells up there. Look how high those bells are. That's crazy.
It's like 50 feet, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a good 50 feet. Helicopter flying overhead. Let's take a look at this church. And then we'll check out a bit of the cemetery here. Lundy's Lane. Showing you much of the beautiful sights and things you can find on Lundy's Lane. There's another very interesting church here on Lundy's Lane, Niagara Falls, the Battlefield Gospel Church. They got some really cool stained glass in here. As you enter the official Lundy's Lane, right here, you see really cool cutouts up here from the battlefield of 1814. You got them with their bayonets, you got cannon, AC/DC style there. Look at this, I like these street signs. The War of 1812 battlefield, Redmond Heights and Lundy's Lane. And there is much to see here, and I'm gonna show you churches, cemetery, cannonballs. You look at those balls. You see many graves, many different things from these gentlemen who fought the heroic battle of the Napoleonic Wars, raging in Europe from 1803 to 1815. Look at those cannonballs. Lundy's Lane Battlefield Gateway. That's what we're by right now. The gateway. We're going to take you over here, show you that church and the really cool cemetery behind it. Coming over here, you'll notice lots of different pathways, views, probably more views of Niagara on the lake over there. But you can learn all about the Battleground Hotel 1850 Museum. Oh wow, look at these red ants. It's the right answer, learning all about Lundy's Lane, the 1814 battlefield. It's Ruth Redmond right there, passed away in 1999 after living nearly 100 years. Close. You want to educate yourself about this stuff, come to Lundy's Lane here. Battlefield tourism here in Niagara Falls. What a gorgeous day, covering many of the Backroads stuff, the lesser seen stuff in Niagara Falls, including this place over here I gotta show you. What we have here is a heritage landmark. Looks like it's basically been untouched since it was erected as the Fralix Tavern in 1836. This was the Fralix Tavern. This was at one time the Fralix Tavern, as I just showed you. Now, this operates as the Battleground Hotel. Makes sense, right? The cemetery, the Battleground Cemetery over here, these war monuments. This is it, the Battleground Hotel, circa 1850 museum. That's pretty cool. Battleground Hotel, which once was Fralix Tavern in 1830. Restored in 2001 as the Canada Millennium Partnership Project of the Friends of Lundy's Lane Battlefield in the Millennium Bureau of Canada. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very interesting place. Just checking out this church on the other side of the street now. Right off from this memorial cemetery. From the 1814 battlefield. I really admire the stained glass up here. Look at that. That's really cool. Another shot of the cross up here. There it says, "To God's glory and in memory of Lachlan Bruce, a dedicated servant of this church." Yeah, this is interesting. Stained glass, it's like a sun. From this angle, you notice this sign up here actually says, I'm sorry, this engraving actually says Jubilee 1887 Memorial. Or we're gonna take a cool jaunt around this cemetery over here, right beneath the battlefield archway, leading to Lundy's Lane. Past the cemetery gates into Drummond Hill Cemetery. The War of 1812, Battlefield of Lundy's Lane, July 25th, 1814. Ryan has already made it. These stones here that lay in the ground. Look at that one. I see a marker but cannot make it out. Same with these, you can't even tell the year. I'm gonna guess it's around 1814. And that battle took place. We're educating each other. Much to see here. Check out these cannons. Oh my God. Wow. Usually when you see cannons like this, you can't see right into the cannon. That's pretty cool. Check this out. 1812 to 1814, Lundy's Lane Monument, erected by the Canadian Parliament in honor of the victory gained by the British and Canadian forces. On this,
used to be all a big battlefield up to the river, right?
wow, man, there's some huge stones. Yeah, I'd imagine. I'd say so. It's pretty crazy. Like, there's
Probably be a pretty advantageous spot to gather.
Oh yeah.
We want the upper ground. We want the high ground.
Very big stones over here. Oh, they would have had the high ground over here for sure.
Yeah,
So this is-
I'm assuming like this would have all been like somewhat of a valley down at the fall.
Cannons on each side of the monument. the balls, the cannonballs up here on top. The cornerstones. Now they got some balls up there. 25th day of July, 1814, and in grateful memory and grateful remembrance of the brave men who died on that day fighting for the unity of the empire in 1895. Very, very cool. Take you on a quick trek around this part. Wow. This is a cool cemetery. The church background here. Man, some of these stones, absolutely ancient. So much history here. This is interesting. To perpetuate the name and fame of Laura Secord, who you may know. That's ringing a bell. That's because you probably are aware of her candy establishments.
I'm
Laura Secord.
assuming there's no relation.
You don't, no, that's her, man. That's Laura Secord, who walked alone nearly 20 miles by a circuitous, difficult and perilous route through the woods and swamps and over miry roads to warn a British outpost at Degue's Falls of an intended attack, and thereby enabled Lieutenant Fitzgibbon.
Fitzgibbon.
Is that a G? Oh, Fitzgibbon. Yeah, that makes sense. Lieutenant Fitzgibbon on the 24th of June, 1813, with less than 50 men with him. Oh, 49. Oh, wow. You had to read that. About 15 militiamen and a small force of 6 nation and other Indians, other captains William Johnson Kerr and Dominic Ducharme. Yeah, it could be an O. To surprise and attack the enemy at Beechwoods or Beaver Dams. Wow.
After a short engagement, captured Colonel Borsler.
Colonel Borsler. Can be hard to read.
And his entire force of 542 men with 2 field pieces.
She let him know. That is Laura Secord. I've covered a Laura Secord in another episode. It was a candy episode. You can go back and check that out, and you'll see that face on the sign.
Is it the same face?
That's her, man. The one and only Laura Secord. We're all learning together here. Learning together.
Laura Secord or Laura Secord?
Secord. I think it's Secord. Sometimes I pronounce stuff like I see it, you know.
I don't know how to say this. Is it passing?
It can be really hard to read this because they've engraved it in there. Some of the O's look like D's. Here, look at that little bitty stone. These sarcophagus type looking things. Look at that. Died September. Almost looks like 1532, but there's no way it could be. It must be 1932. Thomas Clark. Wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. If you come over here, what they have is the sacred Lundy's Lane tree. This is an ancient tree. Right over here, it's got its own personal section. Gate enclosure around this tree. This is a fascinating tree. This is a very ancient tree. Wow.
Wow, look at the size of this thing.
I know, people have carved things in it. Spray painted.
Wow, why would you do that to a tree?
It's gotta be 400 years old.
Okay, someone even lit a fire and tried to burn it down or something.
Yeah, I think someone tried to light fire to it right there. Disrespectful people, man. Never a shortage of disrespectful people. Look how vast this cemetery is. Got that ancient, legendary Lundy's Lane tree here. Check this out. It would take forever for us to cover all these. This is a vast cemetery. can't cover it all. But as you know, I am very fascinated by cemeteries and history. And I thank you guys for coming along if you're watching this. Thank you, Ryan. He likes history as well. We're all learning together, and that's what this channel is about, no matter what we're doing. So thanks for joining us today on this historical journey. Checking out the churches, back roads, cemeteries, the lesser seen things around Niagara Falls. The size, monstrosity of this sharp grave. Wow. A lot of history. Okay, so we're gonna take our leave from this cemetery. That's cool. I hope you enjoyed us learning about Laura Secord and what she was actually responsible for, helping out in the war. It's very important. She saved lives.
12 against the Americans.
She saved lives. Wow, look at the size of that. Rule no. 1914. Gonna end this cemetery jaunt just over here by this crazy Lowell monument. Wow, look at these little stones, eh? I'm always so fascinated. Cemeteries. Memory of Moses. Yeah, you would think, huh? You gotta be pretty important to get a monument like this. This Lowell one. There is so much to see in this cemetery. Like I said, I wish I could cover every stone, but please like everybody, please subscribe. You never know what you'd be missing if you don't tune in to Mr. Thrash Show. Always doing something different, something interesting. If it isn't interesting to you, it's interesting to somebody. Sift through my videos, find something else covering a lot, especially here in Niagara Falls. History is important, and these are the things you don't see every day. Or even if you've been to Niagara Falls a dozen times, you might not know about these historical landmarks. You can make out the water tower over there. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining in. Please like, please subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe will let you know when a new episode goes up. You can join me on Twitter or Instagram. You'll find the links on my channel. It's the Niagara Skyline Tower, way down there. Thanks again, everybody, for joining in. Backroads of Niagara. Heritage spots. So much to see. Just over here at the Advance Inn that I was just informed by a gentleman over here, they're filming a movie here. And then this is gonna be demoed pretty soon. So this gentleman over here that was manning this camera informed me they're actually filming a movie here. And then this Advance Inn is gonna be demoed. Just thought I'd get a quick shot. The interesting pool here. Got some cacti over there. Very cool wall mural on the stones surrounding this pool. Can't tell you exactly what movie they're filming here, but if you're watching this video, you'll remember that I was on set. I was on the set here. Sun permeates the parking lot. I like some of these really cool old school Coca-Cola artifacts they got over here. This was like, you know, you got your old Coca-Cola crates and bottles in here. Look at these. These are old Coca-Cola bottles covered in dust. Really cool. Old Coca-Cola, Diet Coke bottles. It's very cool. It's like an old Coca-Cola freezer here. Just outside of Zappy's here in Niagara. Look at this old Coca-Cola machine. Look at that. Highly doubt this is in operation anymore. Look at that. That's very cool. I love when people keep old relics like this outside of their establishment. It's the type of stuff that brings me in. Looking for a big bottle of Jack, old number 7. That ain't Leonard Skinner's old Florida whiskey, it's JD's Old Tennessee Sour Mash. That's a big bottle of Jack, because Jack lives here. Used to have a giant moving Ripley's ride over here I went on a long time ago when I was about 14. It's like they've taken it down or it's under construction. That's it for today. Tune in next time. See what's going on and where we end up in the next episode on the Mr. Thrasha Show. It's bumping here tonight.